A dramatic week in the life of a double homicide case. From discovery to autopsy to investigation to finale.
Tonight, police say 2 suspects are behind bars for the killings of a young couple.
A week after detectives found the young couple shot to death in a car, Louisville police made a major announcement.
They both turned themselves in last night.
They had in custody 2 teens, a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old, responsible, they say, for the cold-blooded murders.
I'm happy it's over.
After working nonstop to find the suspected killers, lead detective Chris Middleton says he felt some relief.
I'm happy that there's been an arrest made. It was nice to call the families.
Early on, as Dr. Corey's examinations confirmed that the case was indeed a double homicide, the police were out pursuing leads. One tip in particular helped break the case. In the hours before the murder, the 2 victims had been seen with 2 young men hanging out across the river from Louisville in Indiana. On Thursday, those 2 young men, aware that police wanted to talk to them, came down to police headquarters. When Detective Middleton questioned them individually, each claimed he hadn't seen the murder victims for months.
You're thinking, man, you're lying. And there's no reason for you to lie if you're innocent.
Then police showed them a surveillance tape from this convenience store that showed the 4 of them together. The video was shot just hours before the shootings.
Those cameras, they're not capable of lying. They show what they see and tell what they see.
Middleton says seeing the videotape broke the suspects down, but each accused the other of being the shooter. He says the motive for killing Anthony Housey was robbery, and that Ashley Yanez was shot just because she was a witness. Police say the community as a whole did its part to help solve the crime.
They were very helpful. They hear things. We receive these tips and follow up on them.
The previous shooting at Anthony Housey's apartment, it turned out, was unrelated to the 2 arrests. But at the time, Middleton believed it was a lead worth pursuing for more than just the victims.
I've got a duty to their parents, brothers and sisters and children to find the person responsible for that death.
So far, police have not found a gun, so the pristine bullets Dr. Corey carefully extracted in her forensic examinations have not been matched to a weapon yet. How did Dr. Corey feel when arrests were made in 2 of her autopsy cases?
I just heard it on the news, and I'm happy for the families that will help them get some closure. But as a forensic pathologist, my role does not involve being emotionally invested on whether or not someone is charged with the crime, or whether or not someone is guilty or innocent.
That would surprise fans of some TV shows in which medical examiners often seem like extended arms of the law. Dr. Corey says she doesn't watch those shows, though she once tuned in to an episode of Crossing Jordan, whose main character is a dynamic female medical examiner. Sound familiar? Not to Dr. Corey. When she saw the fictional medical examiner leaping over a fence, she says she just shook her head.
She was breaking into an impound lot to re-examine a car at midnight. You know, I don't do that. I stay at home. I think that might get you in trouble. You might lose your license and your job.
To do her job properly, Dr. Corey has found she must separate herself from the devastation of the deaths as much as she can.
I try not to think about the actual tragedy of the event. Of course, as a human, you're always going to eventually think of that.
People may shudder at the thought that she works on corpses, but she says if there's anything her job has taught her, it's that dead people aren't the scary ones.
In our facility, we have a dedicated elevator that the deceased are transported on. And that elevator is also used by some police officers. And there's many police officers who won't get on the elevator if there's a deceased person on the elevator. And to me, that's a little bit backwards. You know, the dead people, they can't hurt you. The living people are the ones who pose the threat.
When she does reflect on the senseless death she sees all the time, like the double homicides of an 18 and 20-year-old, She says she gains important perspective on life.
It makes me very, very aware of how precious every single day is, how precious every single hour on this planet is. And that's why I fill them all up as much as I can.